Howdy, hey, hello. We are back. And just for the record, if you hear children in the background, it is only because fate would have it that as I sit down with Britt today, our children decide not to go to sleep like they normally do.
They have sixth sense.
They do.
Everything.
But you guys, we are back with none other than the love of my life, Britton Hogan.
Hello.
Britton came on the pod twice in August, like first month out. He was my first official episode. We did our meet cute, and then we did later an episode about long snapping. Both incredible episodes.
Thank you.
Especially the long snapping one.
Thank you.
I really felt like that's something a lot of people don't get to know about. However, because it was the beginning, especially our first episode, I felt like I dominated a lot of that conversation. So I told Britton today, you better talk because I'm going to hold it back.
It's okay. I think our 99% of our marriage is you talking and me just...
You are such a liar.
Thing.
No, it's not. Britton says this. He's like, I don't talk. And I'm like, are you kidding me? We are a very talkative couple.
That's true. I think when we're in the house by ourselves, yes. When we're out in public or anything, it's you most of the time. It's not a bad thing.
This is also what we're working on with Britt. Is he is very good at talking in social situations. He just doesn't believe he is. He's really good at it, though.
Yep.
As you guys will see. So before we start, today we're going to be talking about depression and anxiety. This is something that Britton has had a part of his life for a while, and I've learned a lot about it from you. I've seen a lot of it. I just think you have a very unique way of describing it and also showing how to persevere through it.
Thank you.
So we're going to talk about it.
Let's do it.
But before we do, our munchie.
Yes. We talked about, I think, was it the first time or the second time?
I think it was the second one.
Talked about Diet Sunkist. Now, yes, it is a diet drink. Some people love the real sugar. I know that. McKenna. But not kidding you. Diet Sunkist is one of the most amazing drinks you'll ever have, especially anybody out there who's either trying to lose weight, just has a sweet tooth and doesn't want to have it, or just loves diet drinks. Diet Sunkist is the way to go. It's just pure amazingness. It tastes like a Sunkist, but almost better. And it has 0 calories.
It has 0 calories.
So I probably could have a whole 12 box of them every day, but I hold myself to 1 or 2. Yeah. So
it's that addicting for you. You got it as a Christmas present.
Yes.
People give you Diet Sunkist.
And the problem is you have to go to this very specific stores, and those very specific stores sometimes don't have them. So you just always have to be on the lookout.
Wow.
Walmart used to carry them. They don't carry them anymore. So you have to go to Smith's or... That's about it.
That's about it. Or Wendy's. Yeah, Wendy's in Provo ended up loving Britton so much they gave it to you for like free because you go there every day to get it.
So every Friday before like walkthrough or we were traveling and I had to be at the SAB, I had to go get just a huge 44-ounce Sunkist. So
this is Britton's life, you guys. He thinks he doesn't talk.
Now that
and
we're
yet
talking
people
about it.
give him free stuff. He'll come home all the time. Yeah, I got this for free. So, what?
It's always the 70-year-old older ladies too.
Step off.
Step off.
Gladys. Okay. Here we go. We are in it. Okay, so where's my phone? I wanted to describe it as Google has it. What anxiety and depression clinically in their words are. Yes. Okay, so for anxiety, the definition is just a feeling of worry, nervousness, or unease, typically about an imminent event or something with an uncertain outcome. So basically anything in the future that's about to come.
Yes.
Depression, this was the thing, like I looked it up and it branches off into so many other, there's clinical depression, persistent depressive disorder, bipolar disorder, all these things. But basically the most common type, a group of conditions associated with the elevation or lowering of a person's mood, as you've said, anything about the past.
Yes. And what I kind of add to that is for most people listening to this, there will be moments in your life that you will experience some sort of anxiety or depression. That's just part of this life. We are in a fallen world, and we have times where it is stressful, and it could be anything. Things bring you anxiety. It's different for everybody. Same with depression. Some people have moments in their lives where they just feel sad, feel depressed, feel down, and that's normal. Now, there's a difference between feeling depressed, feeling anxious sometimes, and there's people who do have it clinically. And mostly the difference between that is just people's brain chemistry. They just don't produce the hormones. They don't produce the chemicals that are needed in order for them to feel at, a level-headed mood most of the time. So with anxiety, a lot of the times people don't produce certain hormones, which allow them to either bring their mood back down. So it causes them to worry. It raises a lot of, it's called, I don't even know what the word for it is right now. I'm blanking, and I know this word. It's a certain chemical in your body that heightens when you're stressed. But, and at the same time with depression, I'm trying to remember.
I'm
what it's
going to
called.
all the ones in my head.
Cortisol.
Oh, yeah.
Cortisol. So it's a stress hormone. It's pretty much what it is. Your body releases it when it's stressed. And that's what brings up your sympathetic nervous system. Your heart rate starts to go and all that. Chronically, having that, people feel more anxious than normal. Their cortisol levels are a lot higher. They can't bring those cortisol levels down, and it causes them to feel really anxious. Depression's the same way. It's almost the opposite of anxiety, where they don't produce enough serotonin. There's these things called neurotropic factors that kind of help your brain out, help them function, help them to think, help different parts of their body. And sometimes your brain just doesn't produce enough of it. And when your brain doesn't produce enough of serotonin, and those happy hormones, then it causes them to feel a little sad. And it's not that it's bad or anything, but it's harder for some people to feel happy. And that's what I think I kind of want to get across today is, especially with depression and anxiety, as with anything else, I think we have to be just a little more, just loving and careful about what people are going through, because you don't really know. People could be having a hard day, and it's not just because it's a hard day. Their brain chemically doesn't make the hormones it needs to be happy. And it's not like they don't want to be happy. I mean, we can probably talk about this more, but there's days where especially when I was younger, I wanted to be happy, but I just did not feel happy, and I didn't know what was wrong. And this is before I knew I had depression. So I just thought I was going crazy.
Wow.
And this is where a lot of those different things branch off of depression. You've got bipolar and different things. And a lot of those things go untreated, and people, especially back in the day, people just thought they were crazy because they didn't know what it was. So they just threw them in insane asylums, thought they were crazy, instead of trying to help them out and kind of get them better. And that's the thing that we can talk about too, is you can have depression, you can have anxiety, but it doesn't define you. You can make it better. It's not always going to be perfect. You have days, of course, but there's things you can do to kind of help you combat those symptoms and things you feel. Another thing kind of along with depression and anxiety is depression's more than just feeling sad. There's so many emotions into it. I bet we'll go over it a lot more, but a lot of mine, not just I'm feeling sad. I get very irritated, and McKenna's seen this in her life with me. I get very irritated. It makes me just feel angry almost. And I think that's more because I'm a man. So I've just got testosterone running through me anyway. But there's a lot of emotions that are kind of mixing together. It's not just sadness. It's sadness. It's anger. It's despair. There's a whole bunch of different things that go on, especially with anxiety. It's not just feeling anxious. Like you feel worried, jittery. There's a whole bunch of things that go on.
Yeah. Wow. Just like we talked about, that's exactly what we're going to go over. We're going to go through Britton's life. Britton has been through an incredible amount of things that just anyone going through, you're like, wow. But then add depression and anxiety on top of that. It's like, oh, come on. Like, give him a break. But he's made it through. And his story is so inspiring. And obviously it's still going on. You know, he still fights every day, but it's interesting, just the timeline and things that you've gone through and that's changed. Yep. That's what I want. I want this episode to be there for people who need it. Another big part of it, you are a college athlete. Obviously, it's your senior year and you finished off your season. I think there are a lot of people, specifically college athletes, who have to go through this and don't really get to maybe put words to it or understand what's going on. And we'll go into actually what you did as a college athlete, which even required more of a mentality, like craziness. And anyway, so we're going to start from the beginning. When you started growing up, kind of give us a little quick synopsis. What was your life like growing up? And when do you feel like you started to actually get depression and anxiety?
I mean, we had a pretty, I think I've talked about this before, I had a pretty good life growing up. Had great parents, great siblings. We were always happy, did things together. Didn't really have any major life-changing events in our life. You had your normal everyday struggles, but other than that, we lived a pretty good life. And when I started feeling, I guess, depression, it's kind of weird because I could start seeing it in myself, probably in junior high a little bit. I still didn't know what it was, but especially throughout high school. Talking to my parents, they said they could probably see it in me more when I was younger, even like 5th or 6th grade. And the only reason they knew that is because, especially starting end of 5th grade, early 6th grade, I had a really hard time going to school. And which is funny because I did throughout all of junior high and high school, but especially in 6th grade, I had a teacher that I really enjoyed having, and she got sick. So we had just a substitute teacher for probably half the year, and I did not like it. Not that I didn't like her, but it was just different. And I had a lot of friends, but I think I felt anxious around them. I felt like I wasn't part of them. I was a bigger kid. I was a BYU fan, so I got picked on a little bit at times, and I just did not like being at school. So I remember, at least during 6th grade, I had days where I felt really sad, and I remember going to sleep, I'd cry because I didn't want to go to school the next day, and I'd wake up and I'd cry because I didn't want to go to school, and I'd go to school and I just didn't want to be there. There's a few times where I'd fake getting sick, or I faked that my knee was hurting because I wanted to go home. Like, I just didn't like it. And I really didn't know what it was. I thought it was just 6th grade. I thought it was just normal life, but looking back on it now, I think I realized I started feeling a little depressed at that point, a little anxious.
Your older sister, Mariah.
Yes.
She has just depression or depression and anxiety as well?
Probably more depression.
So she was kind of the guinea pig that gave your parents kind of, eyes open now. Yes. So do you think that actually helped in your case? Like, they were more like aware to it then?
Absolutely. Oh, for sure. For sure. So Mariah, I think, started feeling it, especially throughout high school. And she manifests a little differently than I do, especially when she was depressed. She got very angry, is a nice word for it. So if you're listening to this, Mariah, this is all out of love. They didn't know what it was. They really didn't. They just thought she was just angry all the time. She's like, what's going on? But I think right after she got out of high school, I think started realizing, oh, she probably has something going on other than just anger issues. Right. And a lot of it was she was depressed. She just didn't feel happy at all. She thought the world hated her. She thought that everybody at her school hated her. And the only way she could figure out how to let it out is just kind of lash out at her parents or at herself a lot. But that was fortunately good for me, because when I started, I think my parents started noticing it in me. They reacted a lot differently. They weren't just stop being angry or why are you sad all the time. Instead, they understood, okay, he probably has a little bit of depression. So they were able to help me a little bit more. And with Mariah, they started having her, I think, see a counselor. If that's not correct, then I hope she lets me know. But I think they started letting her see a counselor, and she started taking medication just to kind of help balance out any hormonal changes that were going on with her. And it really did help. I think it helped her a lot, but she started to kind of mellow out. And ever since then, you couldn't tell the difference. If you ever talked to Mariah, you wouldn't know at all, unless you like really live with her and know with it. She has her days, but most of us do. So that helped me because
when did they start noticing it?
So when they started noticing me, I think a little bit in junior high, but it wasn't much, but especially starting high school. So my sophomore year, I think they noticed it a little bit, and I think I felt it a little bit myself. I started to notice it a little bit, but it wasn't anything major. I just had days. But going into my junior year of high school, I don't know what flipped the switch, but just throughout football season that year and into that winter, I hated life. And not that I hated my family or anything, but I felt just tired all the time. I felt sad. I felt angry. I felt irritated. I didn't want to be around people at school. Everybody just made me mad. I was just physically exhausted. And that's another thing that a lot of people with depression kind of struggle with. It's physically exhausting because you're always just trying to exert energy, trying to stay happy or trying to stay in the moment. And it's tiring. But I think I just got to a point where I just did not like my life. And I think for a couple months, I didn't really talk a lot. I would just go into my room and kind of just sit. And yeah, I was just sad.
Would you ever lash out at your family when you got home?
No, I was completely different. I retreated a lot. So if I was ever sad, I'd just go into my room and just sit in there. I'd just turn off the light and I'd try to sleep a lot, which you've, I guess, seen before is whenever I get depressed, I like to sleep a lot. And I think it's just because it was a way for me to forget everything and just kind of go into a world where I didn't really have to think or anything. But, it was towards the end of my junior year. I think it was in the winter, early spring. That's when I think it just climaxed. So I was working at Hires Big H actually. And I would go there every Tuesday. I think work from like 6 to 10, just a little shift. And I was getting ready for work and I was having a horrible day. Like I don't know what was wrong. I just did not feel good. Got my shirt on, got in my car, and then as soon as I got out of the driveway, I'm like, I'm not going to work. I'm like, I just don't want to. Like, I just had to go drive. I had to go think a little bit. And I drove all the way up to Churchill Junior High, which is where I went to junior high school, which is about 20 minutes away. Just drove up there, just parked in the parking lot. In the parking lot, you can just see the whole valley. And I just had to sit there, and I just cried for like an hour because I just felt awful. And I didn't know what was wrong. There was nothing wrong in my life. I didn't have any life-changing events. I just felt like crap. And honestly, like I felt like I didn't want to live anymore. And it was hard. So after about an hour, I pretty much texted my parents and I was like, I'm sorry. I feel bad, but I just didn't go to work. Their response was awesome. I said, I kind of told them what was going on. And they're like, okay, you're okay. Well, let's go talk about it. So we went.
Were you texting this?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
So we went and yeah.
Here's a little tidbit. If you're around someone who has anxiety or depression and they can't talk, texting, writing it out, that's always been better.
I would say my whole life, if I've ever had to get out something, I've always write letters. They texted, so we met at a park by our house and we just started talking. I just started talking about how I felt. I just said, I just don't like my life right now. I feel horrible. I'm sad all the time. I'm angry, but I just don't know why. That's what I kept telling them. I'm like, I don't know why I'm sad because I have nothing wrong in my life, I guess you could say. I'm like, I'm doing okay in school. Like I'm doing well in football. I have friends and all that, but I just don't feel good. I don't feel happy. I don't feel anything. And my parents look at me and they're like, Britt, we've known for a long time, but you probably have a little bit of a depression and you probably are a little anxious at times, but they just looked at me and they said, we love you and we want to help you. And they pretty much said, but because we love you and we want to help you, he said, we don't want you to retreat anymore. He said, we got to get you some help because we don't want you to feel like this anymore. And so what we did is we went and saw a counselor and it was his name's I call him Brother Griffiths because he used to be in our ward, but just one of the amazing man, I will say. But when it's all counselor, got a little bit on medication, and I think from there into my senior year, it started mellowing out a lot.
So you could feel it, like I could feel it. Change.
Yeah, for sure. And I will say, counseling, I know it's got a stigma. Everybody hates it, but if you find a good counselor, it helps tremendously. Just talking. They give you certain techniques to kind of work on, kind of just when you're feeling bad, just how to just kind of work through it. And medication's good too. I think medication's great. Some people react differently to it. Medication was good for me for a little bit. And then I noticed a little bit later that the medication kind of started making me feel a little numb at times. So it wasn't a bad thing. Like I wasn't feeling depressed anymore, but I also wasn't feeling really happy. I wasn't feeling really any emotions. So I kind of had to mess around with it for a little bit. I think the biggest thing for me was just learning how to work through it in my mind, and using certain techniques, breathing techniques, writing things down was huge for me. Talking to people, talking to parents, having people around you. There's so many different ways you can kind of combat it. It's a little different for everybody, but you just kind of find what works for you.
So at this point, you're on medication, you're counseling. Yes. Senior year is good. You graduate early.
Yes.
And that's, would you say, is that like due to the social anxiety? Because you wanted
the graduated early. I think it's a little bit of both. I think I graduated early I wanted to go on my mission. So I think I wanted to go as soon as possible. But at the same time, I think it was my whole senior year, like I felt fine, but I just did not like being at school. And so I would go visit my mom my mom worked at Wasatch Junior High, which was literally 45 seconds up the road from Olympus. So I would text her all the time because I had joke of classes. I had basketball class, all that. So I didn't really have to be there, nor did I care. So I would just leave. Hey, I'm coming up. Can you call the office and tell them that I have to go? So I go, they should call them. I go get my slip and I'd leave and go.
This just reminds me of a conversation we had like a couple days ago. We were talking about homeschooling.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And just out of nowhere, Britton goes, if I was homeschooled, I would have succeeded. I would have excelled because I wouldn't have to worry about the social anxiety.
I'd have been awesome.
I was laughing so hard because it was just so true. At this moment, it was like, for sure. That would have been great for him.
And seeing myself now, I think I just don't do well in big crowds, which is normal for a lot of people. I just kind of feel overstimulated and I just don't like it. So I think just being in a school of 1,000 people, I just was like, I can do good in a crowd of a few people, but when there's a bunch of people, I just don't like it.
Yes.
I don't succeed in that environment.
So you graduate early.
Yes.
You moved to Provo.
Yes.
We kind of talked about this in your mom's episode, by the way. Yes. September Hogan, the mother-in-law. It was, I don't even know the episode. It was just at the end of season 1. Right. Great episode to go listen to. This is when, because you have depression, so you get the call, your mission call to go to South Africa.
Yes.
You then meet your future wife, McKenna, but you don't know she's your future wife at that point. Y'all peace out and you go off and do your own little thing. Yep. At this point, and I'm kind of telling the story for you, okay. But it was that there was just something in you that didn't feel like you wanted to go or that it wasn't time to go.
Yeah, I think it was a little bit
you kind of moved a lot of things fast.
Right. And I think it was a little bit of both. I think one, I didn't want to go quite yet. I wanted to go on a mission, but I just didn't feel like that was the time. And two, I just something felt off. I didn't feel ready. And I knew, especially with how young I was, and just how little experience I had outside of my house, I probably wouldn't have succeeded on a mission, especially halfway around the world, on the bottom of the world in South Africa, in a place where I probably had to hunt for food.
Stop it.
I was just joking, but it would have been different. It's not a first world country by any means. So I just felt off. Yeah. So one Sunday, I think it was Easter Sunday, I called my parents up to my room and I straight out told them, like, I can't do this right now.
Were you scared?
Yeah, I was scared. I was nervous. I was afraid they would think I was just, oh, you're just nervous about going on a mission or anything, but they actually handled it really well. And they both looked at me and be like, okay, let's work through this. Let's talk to Bishop, see what we can do. So we talked to our bishop and we kind of delayed it to August to give it a couple more months, just kind of see how I felt. And then that's when I moved down to Provo just for a little bit, just to kind of get out of the house. And then when I was in Provo, I was like, I just don't feel ready. So we delayed it until further notice. We pretty much just held it off. It was still kind of there in the bishop's office, but he could resend my papers and whatever. But I just decided I needed at least a semester of college to kind of get used to being away from home and see how that felt. And of course, I met the most amazing young lady.
Well, she came back into your life.
Right.
So I had met you while you had your call.
Yes.
That's why I was like, okay, peace out.
Right.
Then you stayed, and I was
Right.
like, wait, why is he still
Right.
here?
Right.
So then, yes, kind of came back into it.
Yep.
So when we started dating, I knew
Right.
you had depression, anxiety, but you never really showed it.
Yeah.
And I mean, we only dated for 3
Right.
months before
No,
you
that's
left.
okay. But I think I try to hide it a lot. I just didn't want you to think I was insane or crazy. And I still think I had a day or two where you would come and just kind of
It
console me
definitely,
a little bit. But
and
it
I
wasn't
would
right.
look at it and be like, oh yeah, he's just feeling down
Right.
today.
Right.
Like it was
sure.
very mild.
For sure. Right.
That's why I was like,
Right.
I can handle this. And so the only really exposure I had to depression, and I'll only say depression, I really don't think I understood anxiety, was on my side, my mom
Right.
and my sister,
Right.
my older sister.
Right.
So I knew that they were taking medicine. But again, it always just, everyone felt pretty mild. Like,
For sure.
okay, yeah, you
For
feel
sure.
sad. But it just,
For sure.
I don't know if I was just so oblivious.
Right.
So then you get ready to go.
Mhm.
And that's when a lot of the fears started coming in for both of us.
Right. Right. And it was pretty crazy. I think a couple weeks before I started panicking a little bit. A week before I was like, okay, I'm going to do this. Please something happens so I don't have to go.
And this is why I
Right.
think your parents were so worried
Yes,
about
right.
us or me
For
waiting
sure.
for you, because
For
they're
sure.
like, she's going to bring him home
Yeah.
because he's
Yeah.
just going to go so much in his
Right,
mind. And
right.
I think that is the only reason. This
Yep.
is why I am convinced I am older than you. And this
Yep.
is why it's worked.
Yep.
Because since I'm older than you and certain things happen, I went on a
certain
mission
mission. Yep.
before you. And that, I think, is really what helped
Right.
us through this moment, as I
Right.
totally knew
Understood.
and understood what you were
Right.
going to go through.
Right.
And I knew like how great it was going to be.
Right.
So then you go.
Yes. And I went to the MTC, and I think the first night I cried myself to sleep. But I think especially my mission, the MTC, and especially the MTC, I think that was just more situational, where it was just brand new.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a lot of missionaries feel a little depressed when they get either into the MTC or out in the field, because it's so different. You've lived 18 years being able to do whatever you want, go wherever you want. You don't have a buddy right by your side at all times. You're not talking to strangers 24/7. You're not trying to memorize the gospel 24/7. Not that that's a bad thing, but that's just not what you're doing in your life. And it's different. It's stressful. And I think most people who go on missions feel a little bit of depression or a little anxious at some point in their mission. So the MTC, I don't like it as much, but I think it was just because it was almost, I felt confined. I felt like I just couldn't really go anywhere.
Right.
And I would have my days. I feel sad. I cried a lot, but I knew, okay, I just got to get out of here. So I was just like, okay, if I get out of here, everything will be better. And then I got to San Antonio, got off the plane.
Yeah, because your mission changed, obviously.
Yep. And I started feeling just anxious. Like I've never felt that anxious in my life. It was just brand new place. My parents weren't there. My lady wasn't there. And I remember getting to the mission home that night, and I went into President and Sister Polly's bathroom, and I just started bawling. And I was like, what am I doing here? I don't feel ready. I don't feel worried. And again, that same thing came into my head. Why am I sad? I have nothing to be sad about. There's nothing in my life that's going wrong, but I just feel horrible. And so I got to my first area, and things just got worse and worse. And I just felt depressed all the time. I never wanted to get up, but I had to get up at 6:30. I felt guilty all the time because I felt like I wasn't doing enough as a missionary, or I felt like if I accidentally saw a message from you or my parents went on when it wasn't Monday, like I felt guilty for that. And just all these little things started culminating. So I think after about 2 weeks, I don't remember, was it 2 weeks, 3 weeks on my mission, I remember I locked myself in the bathroom, and I had a little burner phone that my dad originally gave me just to call them when I was leaving.
Okay, before anyone, yeah.
Yes.
we wanted you to
Yes.
succeed.
Yes. No. So this
But
was
we
just a
also
call.
were
Yes.
realistic that
Yes.
it's like, okay,
Yes.
we know what we're
Right.
dealing with. Someone
Right.
else might not know. And so when you see
Right.
like messages, I was not texting you. I had
It
no
was
way
just
to
emails.
contact you.
Sorry,
I only had
emails. Yep.
emails, but
Yep.
your parents had
Yes.
a burner phone
Yes.
for you.
Yes. So I kind of hid it from my companion, and I remember I just locked myself in the bathroom, and I called my parents.
I think
and
this was Easter.
Yep, it was Easter, and I told them, I pretty much told them, like, I'm coming home. Like, I can't do this anymore. I feel depressed, and I feel very. I don't want to get too much into this, but I feel very suicidal, and I just don't want to be here.
We can't get
anymore.
into
No,
too much.
it's
So
okay.
I still get very emotional, and I obviously didn't know
Right.
this extent until you got
Right.
home. But even now, when we talk about it, I
Right.
still
Right.
get very emotional about
Yes,
it.
yes. And just kind of a sidetrack. If anybody's listened to this episode and you have those thoughts, please do not listen to them whatsoever. They are not real. And I know they feel super real, but it is not the thing. You need to please call somebody, talk to somebody, anything. Just please do not listen to those thoughts, because it is a very dark place and it will not fix anything if you try to do anything. So please just do anything you can to help, because I will say that's it's the one thing I think in my life that depression I've been in pretty dark places before without going into a lot of details, but the one thing I'm grateful for going through that is I know how dark those places are, and I know that even though I felt like nothing could go right, I felt like I was just in the bottomless pit of hell. Even in those moments, the Savior reached farther down than that, and he pulls you out every single time. And it's helped me have empathy for others, especially those who struggle with those type of thoughts, who struggle with depression, who struggle with anything else. It kind of puts things into perspective. And I will say that's one thing I'm grateful for, in that I have depression in my life, because it has helped me empathize a lot with others, especially those who feel like their life isn't worth living, because I can tell them personally that it is very much worth living, and it is the best thing you can do is to pull yourself out and to go forward with life. And that is a very triumphant story. And it's shows how strong you are. And I'm grateful that, I know I'm going on a tangent here, but it makes me appreciate even more what the Savior went through in the Garden of Gethsemane, because people don't understand. I don't think anybody understands the depth of the pain he felt. We talk about the physical stuff he went through. He bled from every pore of his body. It talks a little bit about the mental strife he went through, but I don't think people realize how much of a hell that was for him. And to the point he was asking his Father, who is God, to release it from him, take it away from him. So I'm grateful at least to have a little bit of that, to know what the Savior went through in my life, and so that I can help others and be more Christ-like. But I know I went off into 10 different points, but I just want to tell you that anybody, if you are hearing this and you feel like that way, please go get help, because it's not a place that you want to be, and life does get better. It really does. You don't feel like it at the moment. You really don't, but it does get better. There's happier days ahead. And I can promise that.
I love you.
Love you.
That part on your mission,
Yes.
your mom specifically talks about it on her episode.
Yes.
That was one of the hardest days for her,
Yes.
because I'm pretty sure that was the day Sean Sadowski came over.
Yeah, I think
And
so. Yep.
did he get on the phone and tell you need to go throw this phone away?
Pretty much,
You're
yeah.
staying out here.
Yep.
You're going to do this. And your mom talks about I mean, just what you explained.
Yep.
She could feel that. She knew you were
Yes.
in that deep
Yes.
despair. And she talks about how she felt the strongest feeling, the strongest prompting from the Spirit to you. Like she said, she
Yes.
felt like she was pushing you off the cliff.
Right.
And I remember just talking to her after it. Your dad had sent me a text that day, like, hey, Britt's struggling. If you want to send him an email.
Right.
But it felt like the Calvary was like, here we come.
Yeah. And I wouldn't be surprised if there was hundreds of angels on the other side too, pushing right along.
But I think that really was it was like, you're staying
Yes.
here. You
Yep.
have to stay
Yes.
here. And
Right.
thank heavens you did.
Yep. I
For
agree.
you.
Yep. And it's funny now because I think back on my mission and I remember the happy times. I honestly don't remember. I don't remember that. Honestly, like I've just trying to tell it in my mind.
Yeah.
I can't remember a lot of it.
Yeah.
And I know that's because I had a lot of good times as well.
Yeah. So you get home.
Yes.
Things are pretty good.
Yep.
Feeling great.
Yep.
And we get engaged.
Yep.
We get married.
Yep.
Everything was just selling high. And then first month of marriage hits. I'm on birth control. So I am a total mess.
Yep. I won't say yep, but you
No, I was. So probably wasn't helping. Was it about, what do you think set in? Was it anxiety or was it depression?
I think it's a little bit of both.
Do you ever feel like it's more one than the other, or do you
So,
feel like it's a steady
I will
dose?
say they play off the other, one off the other. So I think if you're feeling a little anxious, eventually you're going to start feeling a little depressed. Or if you're feeling really depressed, you're going to feel a little anxious. It's probably more one than the other, but they do kind of overlap a little bit, but they also do have a little separate entities.
Yeah.
I will say, I think clinically, I think I have actual depression. And I think my anxiety kind of plays off of my depression.
Oh.
My anxiety I can kind of work with a little bit more. My depression sometimes, especially, of course, when I was younger, I just didn't know how to be happy.
Yeah.
My anxiousness I could probably get over with by doing stuff, but my depression I couldn't feel happy, and I just didn't know why. So
Yeah. Wow. Okay. So, and on top of all this, when we have gotten married, your future with football at this point was undecided.
Yes.
So plans were getting like upheaved,
Right.
which of course, hello, your wife, a planner, was freaking out.
Right.
Cause I'm like, wait, our whole plans were,
Right.
I'm sure for you, it was
sure.
like, yeah, I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. I will say most people who are depressed or who have a episode of depression, a lot of the times in their lives, they don't have a lot of structure. Because, and the reason for that is when they don't have a lot of structure, you could think.
Yeah.
A lot of times with depression, thinking, I don't know the word for it. When you're not constructively thinking, when you're not trying to do something, when you're just thinking about anything, it can get really bad. You get weird thoughts in your head, thoughts you'd never really think of normally, and you just go down and spiral. And I will say, for me, that's where I've noticed if I get in a depressive mood, especially even now, it's when I start thinking and then it spirals down to 10 different things. Oh, what if this happens? What if that happens? Or I'm an idiot. And then I'm an idiot turns into, oh, I'm okay. I'm just the worst person in the world. It spirals all the way down to there. So I don't think that anymore about myself, but it's a snowball effect. It really is.
You were going through all this and now it was like, this is the real side when Britton is depressed.
Right.
And so I was seeing that. And so one of the questions I wanted you to talk about, and maybe I can just share my one thing that I've learned, is what advice that you give to someone, especially if it's a spouse of someone. And so when I was thinking about it, for me, I turned to your mom. I was like, that's all I could think was, who knows how to deal with this?
Right.
And I had obviously gotten close with your mom while you were on your mission. So I remember we lived in Mapleton in the basement. I went up to the stairs outside and I called your mom. Your dad was there too. And I just was crying. I was like, why are we so mad? What is going on? Like, this shouldn't be happening in our first month of marriage. Yeah, okay, first month of marriage is difficult, but this seems a little excessive and I don't know what to do. I feel like I'm making it worse. And your mom, because she had known that, like I didn't, she helped me see, hey, here's the pattern. Here's how it goes. And from there, like, she really was my confidant. And I got to learn you because not that you couldn't have told me, but you were in that moment that it was kind of hard for you to, hey, I need you to do this, by the way. No, So I just had to like learn that, and
Totally.
thank heavens for your mom. I mean, we talked about it in her episode. Like now it's like, I totally know when your episodes come,
sure.
I know how to handle them,
For sure.
but it's less. So
Yes.
that was kind of our peak pinnacle.
Yep.
Any other advice you'd give?
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. Just find somebody who knows the person pretty well. I think another thing too, that I've thought of when I feel depressed or I feel a little anxious, a lot of the times people want to fix things, and it's not a bad thing, but most of the time we just want to talk, or we just want people to listen to us. We don't want any solutions. It's just a ranting session is all it is. But we don't want anybody to tell us we're right or tell us we're wrong or tell us what to do. We just need somebody to listen to us, hold us, anything like that. Because that's honestly the most comforting thing, at least in my experience. And you've become really good at this when, especially now when I get in a little mood or I get a little depressed, I will just tell you, you will listen, you will hold me, you'll tell me you love me, and life goes on.
And this, just asking hypothetical for anyone else hearing
right.
it, how long do you let them stay in that place?
So, I mean,
I know you now,
initially you probably just let them do their thing but I wouldn't let them stay in there too long, because that's when things get worse. They start thinking, they start getting down. You just need to pull them out.
Yeah. And
that can be different for everybody. For me, you know me, I just pretty much just telling me to talk to you and tell me what's wrong. And then after that, it's usually good. But for people, it can be different.
Yeah. I think that's good though. Like let them figure out what is that happy medium.
Let the steam roll off. But after that, don't let it
sit anymore. There.
Yep.
So at this point, you get an opportunity with football.
Right.
And I think now, as we've gone through it, like how incredible that you got it, because it totally was a blessing. Totally. So I wanted to spend a little time on this, like I said, because as we were talking about it, being a college athlete has so much pressure on it without anxiety or depression. Right. As a woman, I think we can openly, candidly talk about it and it's accepted. Right. But as a man, is it received that same way?
Probably not.
I don't think so either.
I think society's getting better at it, of course. More men, I guess, have come out. It's not the right word, but have said that they have depression. And the society, I think, is a little more accepting of it. But especially among college athletes, they're supposed to be the tough, macho men. Yeah. They are. And a lot of athletes, you would be surprised, suffer with depression. And some of it may be clinical, and a lot of it, I think, is just it's stressful. It's very it's situational. It's stressful. College football, people don't see the behind the scenes of college football. They just see the games. They don't see 5 days of practice a week. They don't see meetings. They don't see lifting. They don't see going to school every day, having to work on homework 5 hours a day and barely having enough time to still even finish that, even with 5 hours a day. They don't see, especially at BYU, them with families on top of that. People don't see all the behind the scenes, and that it's stressful. It takes up most of your day. You don't really have any free time. You don't really get to see your family a lot, comparative to most college students. You have to go perform in front of millions of people every week, which is stressful in itself. So a lot of, I guess, players probably suffer a little bit from it, and people, unfortunately, don't expect football players to feel that way, but a lot of them do. And I think football players especially, or any athletes, male athletes, would benefit from just going to talking to somebody, because it helps tremendously. Just to
even get out. So you're on the special teams. That in and of itself is such a dynamic part of a football team.
Right.
I would say about 30, maybe 40% of being on special teams is your performance, right?
Right.
The rest, the 60, the 70, is all mental.
Yep.
You're doing one thing. One thing. If you're the kicker, the holder, the snapper, the punter, whatever it is, you have to do one thing, and you have to do it the same way every time, the right way. And if you do it right, I mean, at least we'll say for kickers and punters, they
sure.
get a little bit more recognition.
For sure.
But any of those other smaller positions, you do it right, no one says anything.
Right.
And you talk about that in your long snapping episode. You do something wrong,
Right.
and you are more of an issue, like
Right.
that you messed up. And talk about mental. And I would love, I mean, I'm sitting here talking about, I mean, if only we could talk
Right.
to some of your teammates, let alone
Totally.
the wives. Because I've heard certain conversations of what they've had to go through when certain mishaps, yips happen, whatnot, and how people treated you guys if you ever did something wrong. I mean, kind of dive into that.
Yeah, especially as a specialist, like you said, there's just one job. Everybody else on the field, quarterback, tight end, D end, anybody can make mistakes throughout the game. People will notice, but it's not a big deal. If it is a big deal, people will forget about it next week when you throw a touchdown, catch a touchdown, stuff like that. As a kicker, as a punter, as a snapper, if you mess up once, people will remember, and they will remember forever. So it is very, very mental, because you go on the field, all you have to do is execute that one job. And sometimes, I will not say sometimes, most of the time, a kicker, a punter, snapper will have a bad rep. It just happens. It's going to happen. We're all human. But mentally behind that, when you have a bad rep, especially when you've been doing good, nobody notices, it plays with your psyche so bad. And it can really just mess with you. I'm not going to lie. It can mess with a lot of kickers, a lot of punters, a lot of snappers. You've seen it in the NFL, you've seen it in college. A lot of them almost don't recover from it because it is so mental. So, but at the same time, I am very grateful that I played this position, because I honestly think it has helped me realize, or kind of learn, how to calm myself down, especially when I'm anxious. Or if I feel a little depressed, it's actually kind of helped me learn how to breathe. It's helped me learn how to think correctly, how to give myself affirmations, tell myself that I am a great snapper, tell myself that I can do hard things. And I think kind of both sides, it can be horrible for you if you're not thinking correctly. But at the same time, I think for me, these past 4 years, it's really helped me to improve myself, especially mentally, be able to overcome any fears I have, any anxious thoughts or doubts that I have in my mind. And I'm actually really grateful for it. I've just, even these past couple weeks, I've really kind of thought back on that and how important I think that will play in my life, and to kind of learn how to perform under pressure. And that can be for anybody. Of course, we're all going to have times in our lives where we have to perform jobs, at home, anything. You're going to have to perform. You're going to have to do your job correctly. And if you can really learn how to hone in on those skills of how to think correctly, how to find ways to improve just your mind, and just to improve the way you perform, like, it really does help your mental health. And I think we talked a little bit about it, but there's just so many ways you can do that. And I think it's just up to the individual to find kind of what works for them.
So as for like advice for any athletes out there, what would you give specifically for them to, if they're feeling like they are struggling with depression or anxiety, but they don't necessarily feel like, what would you say is the best tips?
I mean, honestly, it's cliche, but just don't be afraid to talk to somebody. It can be a wife, it can be a parent, it can be a brother, sister, anybody. You've got sports psychologists.
I was going to say most teams have
sports psychologists. Utilize those like there's no tomorrow. That's what they're there for. They're there to help you perform, but also help you in your life. I know a lot of the sports psychologists at BYU, I bet 20% of the time they actually talk about sports, and 80% of the time it's helping them with just their thinking and their lives. So if anybody, not just athletes, but anybody out there, if you really need to just talk, go see a therapist, go see a psychologist, anybody that will just help you kind of go through your thoughts. And that's what they're there for. They're not only there just to listen, but they're there to teach you how to think correctly, because thinking correctly, in my opinion, opens you up for so many more avenues. It brings so much more peace in your life, joy and happiness. My favorite scripture is, "As a man thinketh, so is he." I really think that's not a coincidence that's in the scriptures. It's a true statement. And you can have depression, you can have anxiety, but if you're thinking wrong, you're not gonna be well. So it's just learning how to think, learning what to think, and learning how to apply those skills. So, I mean, I know I'm going on a rant again, but anybody out there who feels like they're depressed, they're anxious, go talk to somebody, especially a therapist. I mean, they're really there just to help you improve.
Wow. This has been so great. I just want to say, watching you those 4 years.
Thank you.
It is insane to see where you started and where we ended. And there was a lot we went through, specifically you.
Yep.
Just to give a little synopsis. Obviously not knowing if you were going to be in football, then getting thrown in. I got pregnant with Baker.
Yep.
That in and of itself, I know that worried you a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a big fear of mine. Just being a dad.
Yeah.
It scared me a little bit.
Which is normal.
Mm-hmm.
And you even said at one point, like, what's going to happen? Like, you're just going to be mom. You're not going to be McKenna or my wife anymore.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was an automatic switch?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was. And it's not an automatic in that, this is going to be great and all that.
Yeah.
Like, it was still hard, but it's cliche to say again, but you just love your kids. It's just innate in you.
It's very interesting.
It is, yeah. Especially, and I bet there's a lot of people out there who are going to be dads or have had similar thoughts. Like, that scares the living daylights out of me. And it's weird.
Mm-hmm.
When your kids are born, you just love them.
Well, here's the ironic thing. So I don't feel I've ever had to really deal with like depression or anxiety.
Right.
Then Baker was born. And it's funny that you had kind of said, like, yeah, I'm good. I then got severe anxiety, which, is normal, by the way, whenever you have a child, like you're the mom, it's just normal. Mm-hmm. But it's like, even when you were just saying you would start having weird intrusive thoughts. Oh my gosh. Yep. All the time. I couldn't sleep because I was just like, something's going to happen. And I would get so mad at you because I'd look at you and I'd be like, how is he asleep? Everything could go wrong. Right. It was so bad. And I felt like an insane person. Right. And it was so sad because I don't think I even told you. I think I might have told you right before Bo was born.
Yeah, I could definitely tell a little bit.
It was finally the first time that I was like, this is what Britton feels. This is awful. Yeah. Like terrible. Right. So we get pregnant. 4 months later, everything's happening. We still have a baby. We're pregnant. And then I have a placenta abruption. Yep. That whole scene, you can go listen to that episode, The Birth Story. And your grandma was just talking about this, how in this moment, you're just about getting ready to start spring ball. Yep. You don't really miss spring ball. Your wife just almost died. Mm-hmm. You almost just lost your second baby. Mm-hmm. You became a single dad basically for 4 days while I was quarantined in the hospital. Right. And then I come home, emergency C-section. I can't do anything. We're moving. Right. Everything that could have gone wrong in this moment went. And your grandmommy had just told me this the other day. Your mom was waiting for the phone call. Right. Was waiting for the drop. Like, Britton is going to lose it at any moment. We've all got to be ready and totally understandable, even if you didn't have depression or anxiety. Right. And the phone call never came. She ended up calling you. Yep. So how you doing? How's things going? And that's really, I'm good. Yeah. And I just get emotional about it now because oh man, dang it. You were our rock. Because then at that moment, I got severe depression going through that whole situation. Mm-hmm. We didn't have our baby home. He was in the NICU. Everything was up in the air. We still had Baker as a baby. I could barely walk. Mm-hmm. Everything. And you had to still go to football on top of all that. And I don't know how you did it. And I'm so grateful, though, that you did do it. And it was truly a miracle and a blessing. And that's what I really wanted to point out on that, because when people are in the pit, they don't think there's a way out. They don't think there's ever going to be a moment where you're not in the pit.
And that's, I think, the biggest thing about just feeling depression is you feel there's no way out of this. There's not a chance I'm ever going to feel happy again. Not a chance that anybody else is going to love me, yada, yada, yada. Mm-hmm. But there always is a way out. And there's always a way to feel better. And just going off your story, I don't think there's a chance that I had to go through hell for 10 years, maybe just for that moment to help you and to help our family, because, like you said, I didn't feel 1 ounce I felt a little anxiety, which was normal, but I didn't feel depressed ever. I felt peace. I knew everything was going to be okay. And I think the 10 years of experience I already had, I knew in that moment I had to be the dad and the husband that you guys needed. So I chose to do everything I can to help you guys and to serve you and to make sure that your happiness was above all else. And I think that was the ultimate thing. And I think it sounds super superficial in saying this, but the best thing you can honestly do, whether you're feeling depressed, anxious, you have something wrong in your life, go serve somebody. I know that's very cliche to say. Go and just serve somebody. Go love somebody.
Yeah.
Go help out a neighbor. Go help out your wife. Go
Yeah.
help out your husband. The Savior did the same thing. Went through everything in the Garden of Gethsemane. Was the first thing he did when we got out. He healed somebody, one of the Roman soldiers who was coming to arrest him.
Okay, well, we're getting to the end.
Yep.
This has been all the emotions. It just makes me love you that much more. Where are you now? How do the bad days
Right.
look? Obviously, they still come. They're
sure.
not holding
sure.
on like they did.
Right.
What do you do through those? How
Right.
do you cope through them
Right.
now?
Like you said, I have my days, and they're not really days anymore. I think I just have my hours,
Yeah.
just where I kind of feel sad. Honestly, the biggest thing I do for myself is I love to exercise, of course. And I think I forgot to tell you this. The whole reason I'm obsessed with exercise is because it got me out of the pit, especially when I was in high school. I started getting addicted to exercise going out of my junior year. It's when I lost a lot of weight. And going into my senior year, the reason I got addicted to it is because it makes you feel amazing. So if I was going to give any suggestion to somebody, like just a physical thing that will help you a lot, go research anything. There's been a bunch of studies. Go exercise. I don't care what it is. Go for a walk, go run, go lift weights. That's what I like to do. But exercising raises your serotonin levels. It releases a whole bunch of other hormones. Is probably one of the best, honestly, medicines you can do for your mental health. It will make you feel amazing. But going back to that, now, I have my days, but most of the time I'm happy. I feel good.
You've always said it's with time.
With time. It really does. It comes with maturity when you kind of know yourself. Now I can kind of tell if I'm starting to get depressed or anxious, and I can kind of get myself out of that through exercise or going to do things I love, go watching shows with you, hanging out with family, or if I just need to go take a nap, that helps me a lot. Just go and take an hour or two nap. I wake up, I feel great. Or sometimes if I feel depressed, I will go to sleep at night. I wake up in the next morning, I feel great again.
Sleep. The power of
really
sleep.
is fantastic. So I love sleep. But just I found ways to kind of cope with it, and I honestly don't really notice it anymore.
Yeah, because you're not on medication or anything.
Not on medication or anything, and not saying it's bad, but just for me, I just don't feel like I personally need it anymore, and I just don't want to feel just have any side effects of it or anything. But I think I've found enough not coping mechanisms. I don't think coping is the right word, but things to improve my mood and improve my life. And honestly, this is the biggest thing that's helped me besides exercise is staying close with the Lord. That's the biggest thing you can do.
Yeah.
Stay close with the Lord. Say your prayers. Ask the Lord for strength. It's super simple, but it's honestly the biggest thing you can do because there is strength in the Lord. That's said all the time. There's strength in the Lord, but truly the Lord has power and can bless that. And rely upon the Lord. He will give you power. He will strengthen you so that you will not feel the burden on your back. I promise anybody who out there who may feel like feel like it's not going to end or feel depressed, feel anxious, trust that it will get better and trust that the Lord will help you. Even if you're not religious, trust somebody, trust a higher power that they will help you. But especially those who believe in God, believe in the Lord, trust him because he will help you. And he has not given you the things in your life right now. These are not by happenstance. Yeah. He's blessed you to have those to be able to rely upon him and to be helped.
And what a powerful realization you said when who knows if the pits and the depths that you're going through are going to help you carry someone else.
Mm-hmm. I believe we all have things we go through in life in order to help others. Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're all here to help each other. We all go through different things, but I also think we also have unique experiences that help others.
Yeah. Okay. This is great. This is a good one. I hope that who's ever out there listening, that you were able to take away something from this, whether for your own life or someone else you know. Please, please put this episode around. All right, you guys. We'll see you next week. Bye.